This is the closest thing that you'll get to snowboarding on concrete in 2024. It's not a skateboard and it's definitely not a longboard because it has this crazy centre wheel in the middle that spins. And because these centre wheels are slightly closer to the ground than the other 4 edge wheels, you reproduce the 2 edges that you'd find on a snowboard, allowing for some pretty incredible manoeuvres considering the board is going on concrete. And the only catch is that these boards are totally underrated. In fact, there's a very good chance that you've never even heard of them before. From bombing, freestyle, and even trips around the world, I'm going to show you why these boards are unlike anything that you would have seen before and should be on your list of things to try in 2024. So other than the centre wheels, how do these boards differ from a standard skateboard or longboard? Well, another difference would be the hooks that you use to hold yourself in as you ride, which contrary to popular belief are not there to make it easier to jump. You need these hooks in order to hold your edges and your weight as you go down, just like you would on a snowboard. And the similarities with snowboarding do not end there, because on a freeboard you can also catch your toe side and heel side edges just like you can on a snowboard. But don't let that put you off, because if you wear a helmet and wrist guards, you'll probably be fine. One last similarity which I cannot stress enough, the ability to stop and carve away speed. This is completely unique to freeboarding, and it means that you can go down any hill no matter how steep it is or how narrow it is, because you can always control your speed by carving it away. And this is exactly what makes freeboarding so incredibly versatile, because you can use it at a skate park, you can also use it for downhill, and even to explore any kind of spot in your city, carve down and turn into a concrete snow slope. So now that you know what makes freeboards unique, let's see what it's like to explore the city in search of spots to carve down. So we've got a freshly paved road and we're going to try and freeboard to the bottom. Let's go! Ever since this hill got repaved, I've wanted to freeboard down it, and it was totally worth the wait. And because the concrete was so smooth, the freeboard sounded its best. This road is honestly so perfect. It's like one of the smoothest roads I think I've ever gone down. It's only just been repaved. I also tried to clear a speed bump and then went on to practicing and connecting some spins. It's always fun to watch over these videos and see how my riding style has been inspired by all the freeboard videos that I've watched. For example here, when I kick out my leg, I got this from a video of Quentin as he goes in to do an overslide, which is one of the more advanced freeboard tricks. These stylistic tricks are what make each freeboard rider unique, and it's always interesting to see how they develop over time. One rider might be seen doing it initially, but then the trick is developed by a new rider who changes it and makes it their own. This cycle repeats, and the end result is that the freeboard pro riders start to make the sport look incredibly easy to do, which to a certain extent is a double-edged sword, because it's for this same reason that a lot of riders end up quitting shortly after starting freeboarding, when they realise that even standing on the freeboard can be difficult. So this is definitely something that you should keep in mind if you want to start freeboarding in 2024. I don't say this to put anyone off, but don't be surprised if the first time you stand on a freeboard feels quite uncomfortable, and that the first time you land a particular trick looks a lot worse than the ones that you saw on the videos. Other than the board itself, if you ask any other freeboarder what makes the sport so unique, they will say the event. These have got to be the centerpiece of the freeboard community. They're run by individuals around the world and give you the chance to ride the most incredible hills with a group of other freeboard riders. They are by far the best way to learn freeboarding, no matter what level you are, so if you're going to take up the sport, I highly recommend you look at the events as well. If you're interested in seeing what the events are like, then check out these videos for the events in Switzerland, Greece, and across Europe. These events were absolutely incredible and I can't wait to go to them next year. And if you're interested in buying your own freeboard, then I recommend my comprehensive guide to freeboarding, where I go over all of the different kinds of boards you can buy and the advantages to each one. Although, to cut a long story short, I'd really recommend looking at second-hand marketplaces because freeboards are incredibly cheap there. But whichever board you choose to start with, make sure to stick to it, because no matter how difficult the freeboarding learning process is, it's completely worth it. And I'm sure that any of the freeboarders watching this will support this point in the comments. So I hope that this video gives a good introduction to freeboarding, especially if you haven't heard of it before. I really do think that it's a must-try sport for 2024, especially if you can't go snowboarding because you don't live near any mountains. The community is absolutely incredible and there's going to be events on all throughout the year, so definitely check those out if you want to get started. Otherwise, if you've made it this far, then thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a good one.